Hello viewers and listeners, welcome to another lesson on angle of elevation and depression, continuation from the previous lessons. We go to the assignment that we have in our previous lesson. A point H is 20 meters away from the foot of a tower on the same horizontal ground. From point H, the angle of elevation of the P on the tower and the top T of the tower are 30 degrees and 50 degrees respectively. Calculate correct three significant figures: distance A, PT, B, the distance between H and the top of the tower, and C, the position of H if the angle of depression of H from the top of the tower is to be 40 degrees. Now we get the sketch. The sketch, a point H is 20 meters away from the foot of a tower on the same horizontal ground. We get that first. Let's say this is point H, 20 meters away from a tower on the same horizontal ground. Let's look at the next one. A point H is 20 meters away from the foot of a tower on the same horizontal ground. That is the foot of a tower. Let's say this is the tower. Up. On the same horizontal ground. From the point H, the angle of elevation of the P on the tower and the top T of the tower, of the P on the tower, this is on the tower, it can be anywhere, and this, the top of the tower. We don't know which position will this other one be, so we just put it anywhere on the tower. This is on the tower, this is the top, this is T, and this is P on the tower. We look at it again. From H, the angle of elevation of the P on the tower and the top T of the tower. So the T is the top of the tower and P is just on the tower, anywhere on the tower. Then the angles are 30 degrees and 50 degrees respectively. 30 degrees and 50 degrees respectively. This will be 30 degrees. And this one here is 50 degrees respectively. What are you asked to calculate? Then they tell you calculate correct three significant figures. PT. Calculate correct three significant figures. PT. This point P and T. This is a right angle triangle. If you look at this, we have two right angle triangles in this diagram. I'll put here Q where the right angle is. So TQH is a right angle triangle and PQH is also a right angle triangle. We are asked to find the distance PT. In order for you to find the distance PT, you will first find the whole distance TQ using the right angle triangle THQ, and you find the distance PQ using the right angle triangle PHQ, then subtract them and get the distance PT. Let's use this. Let's first find the distance TQ with the right angle triangle THQ. To get the right angle triangle, this is the right angle. Here is Q. And this one will be, this is T up here. Then here is H. We have the angle THQ. That angle is 50 degrees. The distance is 20 meters. Here is also 20 meters. So we will find TQ now. How do we find TQ? We use the trig ratios. TQ is the opposite of 50, and the adjacent of 50 is 20 meters. So what do we use? We use tang. The SOHCAHTOA, the tang is what we will use. So we will say tang theta is equals to opposite over adjacent. We have tang theta is equals to opposite over adjacent. The opposite is TQ, so we will have tang theta is 50, which is equals to opposite TQ side TQ all over the adjacent, that is 20 meters. So we just get 20, calculation sake, the adjacent 20 meters. So we cross multiply. This is over 1. If you cross multiply, you will have TQ, the side TQ is equals to 20 tang 50. How much is that? If you press your calculator, TQ will be, the side TQ will be equals to, if you press the calculator, you will have 23.84 meters. 23.84 meters. 23.84 meters. 23.84 meters. What did the question ask us to find? The question asks you to find PT. So we just found TQ. TQ is the whole distance there. Now we look at the next one. We look the triangle in our next right angle triangle. It will be right angle triangle PQH. We have that triangle. We have P here. We have Q, and we have H is our another right angle triangle. This we don't know the distance. We will find that distance PQ. We know this distance to be 20 meters. And the other one, the angle, we know it to be 30 degrees. This is 30 degrees. The angle is 30 degrees. So we use the same format. We use the tang to find the distance PQ. So what is going to be tang there? We have tang 30 is equals to opposite over adjacent. So our opposite, if you get the triangle there, our opposite is PQ. So we will have tang 30 is equals to opposite PQ, the side PQ, all over the adjacent, which is 20. So if you cross multiply, our PQ will be equals to 20 tang 30. How much is that? 20 tang 30. So we'll have PQ is equals to 20 tang 30 is 11.55. What are we asked to find is the distance we are asked to find from the question is PT. So we found the distance TQ and we find the distance PQ. So to get PT, you will subtract TQ minus PQ. So we subtract the two distances, we get the distance we are asked to find. The first distance we found was TQ here. So this TQ distance is what we will take. The distance TQ is 20 TQ minus PQ. That will give us our distance PT. So our PT now, the distance PT is equals to TQ is 23.84 minus PQ is 11.55. 11.55. So our PT is equals to 23.84 minus 11.55 is 12.29. So this is our distance PT, the side PT. Now the question asks you, the three significant figure is 1, 2, 3. I said the first known zero digit of the number is the first significant figure. That is where you start counting. So 1 is our first known zero digit. So we will have 1 as the first one, 2 as the second one, and the next 2 after the decimal point is the third one. So we look at the digit after it. If it is 5 and above, we add 1. Less than 5, we leave it as it is. So to 3SF, PT will be equals to what? 3SF is going to be 12.3 meters. So our PT is 12.3 meters to 3SF. Let's look at the question again. We are asked to find PT, and PT is 12.3 meters. That is found. The next one is the distance between H and the top of the tower. The distance between H and the top of the tower. The distance between H and the top of the tower. So that will be in this right angle triangle. We will look at right angle triangle THQ, and that distance is TH. The distance there is TH. We first find TQ. When we find TQ, we got that one as 23.84. When we find TQ, we got it as 23.84. So to find this other one, we have many ways to do that. You can use the Pythagoras theorem to find it, and you can use the trigonometric ratios to find it. Let's use the trigonometric ratio to find it. So we have the right angle triangle. Let me get it up. The right angle triangle we have. So that right angle triangle, we can say cos theta is equals to adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent over hypotenuse. So in the triangle, that triangle, we have the triangle here as a right angle triangle. In our right angle triangle, we have T here, we have Q here, and we have at this other side H. So this is the right angle, that is the triangle there. So we have this as 20 meters, and we have this angle given to us as 50 degrees. The angle is 50 degrees. We are asked to find the distance from H to the top of the tower. H to the top of the tower is just the distance TH. How do we find that? Using the trigonometric ratio. We have the sign there at the cosine. I want us to use cosine now. Cos theta, we said, is adjacent over hypotenuse. The adjacent is 20, and the hypotenuse is the longest side of a right angle triangle. So that will give us cos 50 is equals to adjacent 20 all over the hypotenuse, which we don't know, that is TH, the hypotenuse TH. So this is over 1. If we cross multiply, what do we have? We will have TH cos 50 is equals to 20. So after that, what do? We are looking for TH, the side TH. We divide both sides by cos 50. Divide this by cos 50. And divide here also by cos 50. You realize cos 50 will cancel cos 50. So what do we have? We have TH is equals to 20 over cos 50. 20 all over cos 50. So the side TH is what now? The side TH is equals to 20 all over cos 50 is equals to, so TH is equals to 31.11 meters. TH is equals to 31.11 meters. So the question tells us to three significant figures. The first non-zero digit, I tell you again. So this is the first one, 1, 2, 3. You look at the digit after the third significant figure. 5 and above, you add 1 less than 5, you leave it as it is. So here it is less than 5. So our TH is equals to 31.1 meters. What did the question ask us to find? The distance between the top of the tower and H. So that distance is the same as TH. So therefore, the distance is 31.1 meters. The distance is 31.1 meters. The distance is 31.1 meters. Let's look at the last part of the question, C. The position of H if the angle of depression of H from the top of the tower is to be 40 degrees. The position of H if the angle of depression, if the angle of depression of H from the top of the tower is to be 40 degrees. The position of H if the angle of depression of the top of the tower is to be 40 degrees. It's just technically is also the angle of elevation from H to the top of the tower is 40 degrees. Where will the position of H be? Are we going to bring it, is it going to come closer or is it going to go farther? That position of H. That is very important. Remember, if we bring it closer, if it walks towards if you are standing at H and you walk towards the tower, your angle of elevation will increase. As you walk close, that is your turning point towards something, an object you are observing above, that turning point increases. But if you walk farther, the angle reduces. Now we look at the position of H to the top of the tower. Now that angle of elevation there is 50. Meaning from the top of the tower to the position H, the angle of depression from the top of the tower to that position H is 50 as we get it. Now, at which position will we have H if the angle of depression is to be 40 degrees? So we have to get that. Let's have a sketch on that also. So this is my right angle triangle. We label it with the points that we have. This is top T. And here is the right angle triangle on that. This one is H. And here was labeled as Q. So with the position of H here, this angle here is 50. Now we are asked, let's get the question again. The position of H if the angle of depression from H, if the angle of depression from H is to be 40 degrees. We are going to find the position of H if the angle of depression is 40 degrees. Bring it down and see the angle. The position of H if the angle of depression from the top of the tower to H is 40 degrees. So we'll have this from here, horizontal eye level, then angle of depression 40 degrees, something like this. This angle here should be 40 degrees. Let's say this is the position of H now, and that should join here. That should join to this place. This should be a straight line. This is a straight line. Now, what is this position? That is the question. What is the position of H if the angle of depression is to be 40 degrees, and that will be alternate to this. How do we find the position of H here? First, we know from this point, H to Q, we know that is 20 meters. Now, how do we, the original position of H, that is H1 to Q, is 20 meters. Now, the second position of H, let's say H2, how will it be? What will be the position of H2 now? So we will solve for this because we know this. We'll solve for this distance. We have the distance of Q and H2. That is what we will solve for. And we will also, we know the distance of TQ. We know that distance TQ we know is equals to, we know our distance TQ is equals to 23.84. We know our distance TQ is 23.84. We have an angle there, and that angle will serve our theta, which is 40 degrees. So we have this triangle, we have another right angle triangle in that position now, and our right angle triangle will be like this. So this is the right angle, this is H2, this is Q, and this one is our T. So we have this as HQ. We don't know the whole length of Q and H2, but we know this length, and we know an angle of 40 degrees because we are told if it is to be 40 degrees. What do we use to find this distance? We know the distance TQ. Let's find this distance. Now to find the distance, we will use tan again. We will have tan theta is equals to opposite over adjacent. We know our theta is 40. Tan 40 is equals to opposite. Opposite is TQ, that is 23.84, all over adjacent. The adjacent we don't know, that is Q and H2. H2 is just the second position of H. So we cross multiply. So we'll have side Q H2 tan 40 is equals to 23.84. Now we want this side, we divide both sides by tan 40. Divide here by tan 40 and divide this other side also by tan 40. So you realize at the other side tan 40 will cancel tan 40. So Q and side QH2 is equals to, how much is that? 23.84 is equals to 23.84 all over tan 40. 23.84 all over tan 40 is equals to Q H2 is equals to 28.41. 28.41. This is the distance from the foot of the tower to the second position of H. The distance from the foot of the tower to the second position of H. Now the position of H, where will be the position of H? You will subtract the two distance. The position of H will be, now you'll get the second, that is going to be 28.41 minus 20. Now what is that? 28.41 minus 20, this will be 8.41. 28.41 minus 20 will be 8.41. Now, therefore, if the angle of depression is to be 40, the position of H will be 8.41 meters away from its original position. So the position of H, or we say the position of H will be, the position of H will be 8.41 meters away from its original position, away from its previous position or original position, away from its previous position. Or you can say the position of H will be 28.41 meters away from the foot of the tower. This is our last question on this, and I'll leave this one also with you. I will read the question. Listen keenly. The feet of two vertical poles of height 3 meters and 7 meters are in line with a point P. The feet of two vertical poles of height 3 meters and 7 meters are in line with a point P on the ground. The smaller pole being between taller pole and P at distance of 20 meters from P, the angle of elevation of the top T of taller pole from the top R of smaller pole is 30 degrees. Calculate A, distance RT, B, distance of the foot of taller pole from P, correct to 3 significant figure. C, angle of elevation of T from P, correct to 1 decimal place. I read again. The feet of two vertical poles of height 3 meters and 7 meters are in line with a point P on the ground. The smaller pole being between taller pole and P at a distance of 20 meters from P. The angle of elevation of the top T of taller pole from top R of smaller pole is 30 degrees. Calculate A, distance RT, B, distance of the foot of taller pole from P, correct to 3 significant figures. Angle of elevation of T from P, correct to 1 decimal place. With this, we come to the end of the lesson, and always follow the advice of the health workers. Stay safe, wash your hands regularly. Thank you for your kind attention.